we might start, because I think that's a fascinating presentation from MISAC for a really interesting project. And I wonder if I can ask Antoine and Patrick to explain how it fits with your agenda at Grower for thinking about water in a constructive way to enhance life.
Absolutely. So I can get started here. Jeremy, thank you very much, first of all, to have us once more at the Water Prize. So again, it's a privilege this year to be with you as Paul Finch, and also with Antoine this year, representing Lixil, the Lixil group, but also the brand Grower. And again, once more talking about the water and the relation with water. So the brand Grower has water in its DNA. So like we have water in our claim. So it's the pure joy of water, the pure Freudenwasser in German, which basically our products also touches billions of peoples every single day, that they use our products as vehicles to access water through showers, through taps. And also that puts us into a position that gives us it's a big responsibility also from our side over here, that we have to also lead by example, right, as industries and thought leaders as well, but not only raising the awareness, but also making sure that we are teaming up, that we are engaging with the A&D community here, so incentivizing the research and projects like this will just kind of bring us together into making sure that we are preserving and utilizing the resources in the best possible way. And again, coming more granular to the projects, and I would like Antoine maybe to build up on that we could see, and this has really amazed us, is how vast the water-centered projects could look like. From the materialities, as we could see here with the hydroskin, to places where we have water in abundance, such as in Colombia, but due to technical limitations or geographic limitations, and also places where you don't have and we don't even find water, through also places such as like the macro colonies. Also from my side here, a big congratulations also for all the presentations here. So it's just really inspiring for us to have you guys on stage also, and for us as a brand is a privilege also to be supporting you with that. Antoine, maybe you build up on that.
Antoine, you want?
Sure. Yeah, so first again, like Patrick, I think congratulations. Your presentations were very, very compelling, inspiring, and impactful. So we had a very hard task to eventually give the prize to a winner. We had a very, very long discussion together with Paul and Jeremy and Patrick. So again, congratulations. All the projects are truly amazing. But when it comes to the winner of this year's, I think what we really liked about your project was, and I think you really demonstrated it through the presentation, is the social and economic ambition, right? The impact on the society. You providing a new model for the communities in Bangladesh to address the challenges of climate change. We really like the modular, and I hope I'm going to make justice to your concept, but we really like the modular, adaptive, and evolutive aspect of the project. We liked also very much the attitude towards water. So you use it's almost you describe water as something that should be embraced and used rather than feared and rejected in a way. So all in all, we saw like many dimensions into your projects, which are very much aligned with the values and principles that Patrick talked about when it comes to the way we see water at Grow. So again, congratulations.
It's interesting because a friend of mine who's a geographer, or started off as an architect, has become a geographer, and she talks about water, which is one of her specialisms, as good water is water in the right place, and bad water is water in the wrong place. We all know that water can be very destructive, but it's also essential to have life. And I think what each of you have done quite differently is use water, almost by diverting it to being in the right place to do what you want it to do. And I think that's a really interesting thing. It's like, the taps you design, Patrick and Antoine, they're getting water in the right place, at the right flow, at the right temperature. It's an adaptation of the same thing. Water in the right place is good water, and water in the wrong place is bad water.
Oh, I can react on this.
Yeah.
I think what we have at this moment is more than what is wrong or right or about water. There's more happening at this moment, as you know. This climate change has a huge impact. As we know, a few weeks ago, it's not 1.5 degrees increase of temperature, but 3 degree increase of temperature. So it will go faster, and I think we have to adapt ourselves. And adaptation is the most important, because that we did the whole history. When you look to humankind, we adapt. So we will adapt to water also, and that's the most natural way to react on water. So I don't think there's wrong or right about water. It's part of our body, 70%. So we react on this way on the water changement, and that's the most wise thing to do.
Yeah. Well, it's also, I think, coming to the two projects, one Pablo and Paddy's, that their water, you're using it in quite a different way, and obviously in a very different context. In Iran, there isn't very much water, in the desert at least. In Colombia, I think there is quite a lot of water, have quite a high rainfall. But I think what's interesting there is adapting to the local circumstances. And as I understand it, in that part of Iran, sometimes you get a very thin layer of water that falls at night, and because it's so thin, it freezes. So you can get literally ice cream in the desert, because you can build up these layers of ice, and that's using a specific local condition, which I think is absolutely fascinating, which is what Misak is talking about, using water as it exists, as we find it, in the most constructive way.
Yeah, exactly. And as I saw in the WAF festival, you had this quote that future starts with a journey to the past.
Yeah.
And I think our project shows that perfectly, since we are tapping to the architecture of our ancestors that have been forgotten, but they provide us green and net zero energy for saving water, for lighting, for taking care of temperature and moderating it. So that's exactly what we try to do with our project, to make sure our future of architecture will also take a look at our ancestors and the methods our ancestors used to provide.
And Juan Pablo, I guess you're looking at ancestral use of water, or how the ancestors reacted to water as well.
I don't hear you properly.
Well, I'm suggesting that you, like Paddy's, are thinking about the way people in the past reacted to water in order to create a new future with water.
Okay, and I'm going to connect with the recent reflection that you said about good and bad water.
Oh,
yeah, because in our project view, I will see there's always a good water, but there's some times that we occupied the territory in a bad way, the territory full of water in a bad way and in a good way. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's something that we are trying to repair or to restore, but we can say, in order to understand the reflection that you told before, it is always a good water, you know, and our ancestors for sure occupied the territory full of water. As you can see, Colombia is full of water, and Antioquia as well. So this kind of program are the future project, the future look that we need to be seen, to be implemented in our territory, because it's the only way that we can face the climate crisis and mitigate all the issues that we have in all different scales of urban development.
Thank you. Christina, you're working with water with quite a different way, but in some ways even more far-reaching, I would suggest, because what you're doing, it's almost like taking a domestic scale of water that Antoine and Patrick do and making it work throughout a building, but for very different reasons.
Yeah, I think our approach is to maintain the natural water balance. So it's not about good and bad water only, but to elaborate a natural balance of water in our cities, which is disturbed at the moment, of course, because sea surfaces have a totally different water balance than natural surfaces do. And I think we have to go back to this stage where we have been many, many years ago.
And of course, it's in controlling water that cities became metropolises in the 19th century. You know, I know most about London, and it was actually sorting out the sewers and the drains in London that allowed London to become the biggest city in the world by the end of the 19th century. Without that sewage, it wouldn't have made it because people would have died, and people did die. And so there's a whole linkage between public health, urban development, all of which I think is fascinating. And it works at both a small scale and at a very big scale.
Exactly, yeah. That's the big advantage on hydroskin. It's just a universally applicable system, so it's not in concurrence of any of these projects, but can be added to all of them.
Yeah. No, well, I think that's great. Now, I'm terribly sorry, but I have to go to chair something else now, which actually is exactly related to your point, Paddy. It's about, you know, the future as a journey to the past. And it's a presentation by the architect Mario Cucinella, who has written this little book under that title. And it's on the main stage. So anyone who wants to sort of get a little bit more, some of what we've discussed here, can come there. Otherwise, I'm sure there are people who will want to stick around here and discuss it. And I just wonder if either Antoine or Patrick would like to make a couple of closing remarks on behalf of Lixil Guerra.
Well, inspiring comments from all the architects here. What to say more, to be honest, because obviously I think, you know, we all see water in different ways. We see it from our side, right, as a manufacturer of products that delivers water. But what's very inspiring from us is we see very much another side of where, you know, how water is being brought to those outlets, or how the water is being recycled and so on. So it's something that I would say really can inform the way we work as well. It might inspire us actually as a manufacturer to just to look at better solutions, innovate in terms of technology and so on, just to connect with what all the beautiful work that they're doing.
Well, that's fantastic, and I think it's been made possible because although that is also WAF's aim in thinking about water, but I think it's been made possible to have that sort of discussion because of the quality of work that's been presented today. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.